Hello friends, I am from Biology faculty of QLS Academy. Today we are going to learn about reproduction in animals. I am sure you will enjoy today's topic. Let's start with the lesson of today. We already talked about internal fertilization in previous lesson. Let's talk about fertilization in hen. So now students, recall what is internal fertilization. The process of internal fertilization takes place in hen also. But we know that a hen does not give birth to chicks. Something to think about, right? After fertilization takes place inside the body of a hen, the fertilized egg or the zygote divides repeatedly to form embryo which travels down the oviduct. As it travels down the oviduct, many protective layers are formed around the embryo. The hard shell that we see in a hen's egg is the outermost protective layer. After the hard egg shell is formed around the developing embryo, the hen finally lays the egg. That is, the hen's egg comes out of its body. Then the hen sits on the eggs to provide sufficient warmth to the egg for the development of the embryo into the chicks. The embryo takes about 3 weeks to develop into a complete chick. The development of the chick from egg takes place inside the hen's egg during this period. After the chick is completely developed, the eggshell breaks open and automatically the chick comes out of it. The embryo gets all of its food from the egg yolk. The albumin present in the egg helps to protect the embryo from any damages. The embryo obtains oxygen by the diffusion of air through the eggshell and other membrane. Now, let's talk about viviparous and oviparous animals. We have already learned that some animals give birth to young ones while some animals lays eggs which later develops into young ones. Those animals which give birth to young ones or baby animals are called as viviparous animals. The young ones develop in the uterus inside the body of the mother. When the young ones is fully developed, then the mother gives birth, due to which the alive young ones comes out from the body of the mother. Examples include humans, cats, dogs, lion, tiger, horses, rabbits, etc. Now, those animals which lay egg from which young ones are hatched later on are called as oviparous animals. In oviparous animals, mother lays eggs outside its body. The young ones of the animals develop inside the egg. When the development of the young ones inside the egg is complete, the eggshell breaks open and the alive young ones comes out of it. Examples include sparrow, crow, butterfly, frog, fish, snake, crocodiles, insects, birds, etc. Now, it is easy to collect the eggs of oviparous animals because they lay eggs outside their bodies. We cannot collect eggs from viviparous animals. Why? Because they do not lay eggs outside their body. Their eggs are extremely small, which remains inside their bodies. Now, a very interesting topic, that is metamorphosis. The young ones of hen hatch from the egg and the adult hen look alike. The young ones in frogs hatched from the eggs look very different from the adult frog. Now, the process of transformation from an immature form of an animal like larva to its adult form in 2 or more distinct stages is known as metamorphosis. The change of a larva to an adult animal is called as metamorphosis. It occurs in amphibians and insects like silk moth, butterfly and housefly. The hatching of a fertilized egg of frog produces a very immature young ones called as tadpole. The tadpole or the larva of frog develops gradually and undergoes many drastic changes in appearance before it forms an adult frog. The tadpole looks very different from adult frog. Now, the transformation of larva into an adult through drastic changes in appearance is called as metamorphosis. A tadpole and the adult frog looks very different from each other. The body features which are present in an adult frog are not present in the immature form called as tadpole. Now, let's talk about what is a tadpole. Tadpole is adapted to live life in water only. Tadpole सिर्फ पानी में ही रह सकता है, वो लैंड में नहीं सर्वाइव कर पाएगा. Tadpole has a long tail which helps it to swim easily in water. To survive in water, tadpole की एक लंबी tail होती है which helps them to swim. They breathe through the gills. Tadpole में gills होते हैं. It eats only tiny water plants and small aqueous animals. The tadpole gradually transforms into an adult frog by losing many old features of its body and developing new features in many stages. Now, we talked about tadpole. Now, let's talk about what is an adult frog. An adult frog is adapted to live life in water as well as on the land. Frog वो पानी में भी सर्वाइव कर पाएगा और वो लैंड में भी सर्वाइव कर सकता है. The adult frog develops webbed feet which help it to swim and also to hop on the land. The adult frog has lungs for breathing in air on the land. The adult frog can also breathe through its thin, moist skin. The frog has a long and forked tongue which can be flicked out to catch insects as food. The eyes in frog move to the top of the head so that the frog can see above the surface of the water. Now, we talked about the process of metamorphosis in frog. Now, let's talk about the process of metamorphosis in silk moth. Silk moth is an insect which undergoes metamorphosis during its life cycle. Silk moth passes through the larva and pupa stage during its development after hatching from the eggs and forms an adult silk moth. The caterpillar and the pupa stages in the development looks very different from the adult silk moth. There have been drastic changes in the appearance during the transformation of caterpillar into an adult silk moth. The body parts in adults are similar to those which are present in babies from the time of the birth. So, this was all about metamorphosis. In previous lessons, we talked about the sexual reproduction in animal. Now, we will learn about asexual reproduction in animal. So far, we learned about reproduction in some familiar animals including humans, but what about very small animals like hydra and microscopic organisms like amoeba? Do you know how they reproduce? Let's find out. Asexual reproduction is the production of new organism from a single parent without the involvement of a sex cell or a gametes. Asexual reproduction में gametes का involvement नहीं होता है. The new organism produced by asexual reproduction is exactly identical to the parents. Now, there are basically two common methods of asexual reproduction. Number one is the binary fission and second is budding. Let's talk about binary fission. The parent organism splits or divides to form the two new organisms. The unicellular organisms called amoeba reproduces by the method of binary fission. Amoeba reproduces by binary fission by dividing its body into two parts. When the amoeba cell reaches its maximum size of growth, then first nucleus of amoeba lengthens and divides into two parts. After that, the cytoplasm of amoeba divides into two parts, one part around each nucleus. One parent amoeba divides to form two smaller amoeba, that is daughter amoeba. One amoeba produces two amoebae. It takes about an hour to divide into two daughter amoeba. The two daughter amoebae produced here grows to the full size by eating food and then divide again to produce four amoebae and so on. The daughter amoeba produced by the process are identical to the parent amoeba. Paramecium also produces by the process of binary fission. In multiple fission, parent organism splits to form many new organisms at the same time. Now, second type of asexual reproduction is budding. Bud means a small outgrowth from the body of an organism. When a bud is formed on the body of an organism, then the nucleus divides into two and one of the nuclei passes into the bud. In budding, a small part of the body of the parent organism grows out as a bud which then detaches and becomes a new organism. For example, hydra. In hydra, first a small outgrowth called as bud is formed on the side of its body by the repeated division of its cell. This bud then grows gradually to form small hydra by developing a mouth and tentacles. And finally, the tiny new hydra detaches itself from the body of the parent hydra and lives as a separate organism. The parent hydra has produced a new hydra. The bud formed in a hydra is not a single cell, it is a group of cells. So students, this was all about different topics related to reproduction in both higher as well as lower animals. I hope you all enjoyed knowing the process of reproduction and related phenomena. And if you have any more doubts, you can go to the following link.